how do you know Tim for a while now?
Oh, a couple years, I guess.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And so you said as you're coming in that you've experienced this before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little about it? Do you want to?
How many days you got?
Yeah. So you're no stranger to foreclosure.
No, not actually.
Okay.
I was dealing with a little credit union right down the road here, about a mile and a half,
Yeah.
and they were making money flipping loans. I didn't know that. And year after I'd gotten refinanced, they wanted me to refinance again.
Right.
And they gave me such a bad deal that I refused. And every time I refused, they'd send the sheriff up, tie my truck up, so it couldn't work.
Wow. Right. And what year was this? When did this start happening?
2005.
2005. Yeah. They gave out. Did you run into trouble because you lost a job? Did you run? Where was the? I mean, did they lend you more than you could afford? How do you think?
No, it's just, Maine is a tough state to live in, and I was in the trucking business, and it's kind of seasonal.
Yeah.
And I spent 20 years behind the 8 ball, and I finally got refinanced in 2004, and I needed a little time to get my feet under me, and they started attacking me, and
why do I feel like you refinanced and they figured out a way of catching you on it when you refinanced?
Well, they were making money flipping loans, and I didn't know that. Little local credit union. 3 weeks after they sold my house, I found their finance reports online that said they'd sold $9.7 million worth of mortgages in about 5 years' time.
Right.
And they did not retain servicing rights. They did not record any assignments in the county registry. And they can't produce the original notes, which they're supposed to have. They have to have those in order to have standing to foreclose, and they can't produce them.
Right. But they. So let me add, because I'm unfamiliar with this process. So they can't produce that, but they can call and forward this eviction process without them.
Well, they're using counterfeit securities to steal our houses. Simple as that.
Right.
Probably Tim's already been through it tonight. I haven't followed it all 100%.
They're using copies.
Yeah.
Well, it's a counterfeit security.
Account, right.
Just like you can't copy a dollar bill and take it down and use it. You can't take your paycheck and make 3 or 4 copies of your paycheck.
Right.
And cash one today because you need money. Cash one tomorrow at a different bank because you need more money. You can't cash another copy. That's what the banks are doing.
Right.
It's that simple. It's that simple. It's what they're doing. It's theft. It's right in front of your eyes. Our law enforcement in this state is blind as a bat. Right. Or they're covering it all up.
Well, and not to make bad guys out of them, they are just doing their job, right?
Yeah.
Actually, it's just the opposite of that. They do nothing because you go to them and you report a crime. I've been to the FBI. I've been to the bankruptcy court. I sat down with our new Attorney General last year for a little over half an hour, and he just sat there with like deer in a headlight look.
But don't you think if I'm a police officer and someone from above me says, go evict this guy, or you lose your job.
But okay,
what if I don't? Can I lose my job?
Here's the point. Right. Is the judge over the sheriff? This is the question. The sheriff is supposed to be the highest law enforcement officer in the county.
Right.
So, who's the judge going to get to arrest the sheriff?
Right.
Think about it.
Well, no, right. So, but
when it comes right down, this is where the people need to get together.
That's what I'm getting.
Because if the sheriff is doing the right, lawful thing, then the people need to rise up, take out the judge, take out whoever is trying to do this criminal act.
Not in a violent way.
Not in a literal sense.
Right, not in just...
Well, I mean legally.
Legally, yep.
But they need to be removed.
Yeah.
The people need to wake up.
Yep, exactly. And that's why we're here. And that's why we're
exactly right.
And that's why, thank you so much.
That's
That's
right.
all I wanted.
See, the problem is we've been asking the lender to produce the note. They don't have it. So they're doing everything they can to avoid getting caught with the fraud.
Right.
Now we finally smartened up, and we're subpoenaing the Federal Reserve because we got word that the Federal Reserve holds almost all of the mortgages.
Nice.
So, and you think about it, regardless of what we think about the Federal Reserve and what they do,
Right.
as far as our individual circumstances, the Federal Reserve isn't the one that's committed the fraud. It's the bank that's committing the fraud. So the Federal Reserve has no real reason not to produce a certified copy and a statement saying that they hold the original note.
That's right. That's right.
And we're going to find out here shortly.
I tell you, and I hate admitting this on TV, but a long time ago, I was, asked backwards like many other people in this country didn't, I repossessed cars. I used to repossess cars in Detroit. And can you believe it? They shot at me. I can't believe I was shot at for taking people's cars. But
that would get me out of that business real quick.
But in that, yeah, and actually it lasted about 5 days after that. But in that business, you took the car, even when they had the paperwork, people would run out with the paperwork saying that it's been cleared up, the bank has cleared it up. And we would get on the phone at the bank and they'd say, take the car anyway. And we would take the car. That's how that worked. And I'm not positive if that's what I'm hearing here, but it sounds so similar.
Yeah, they securitize auto
like
loans
they just,
too.
right, just try and work it through, they just get custody of it, and then it's that much harder for the person. You never get it back.
If you're taking a vehicle, the owner of the vehicle, supposedly, they can refuse if you don't have a court order.
Right. Right.
You can't break the peace when you take it. That's the thing. That's what the law says, or something like that.
And this was some time ago, so this is when I did this. This was a long time ago. So and it was in a different state. So I don't know. Maybe that is the case here now. But I hope so. But
you can't.
So we need to be
breach the
vigilant
peace.
and stick with our fellows, our friends, our neighbors.
This is all about
stop this from happening.
Extracting the wealth from the people.
Yeah.
Need to go back and take a look at the 1892 Bankers Manifesto.
Right.
It said that they needed to get the help from the judges and everybody else to foreclose as quick as possible and make the people homeless so that they didn't fight their leaders. Well, it's going to have just the opposite effect.
Right.
They're going to have to learn the hard way.
Exactly. To stand up. You don't have to leave your homes. You don't have to. I mean, they have to come with more than a copy. This is what I'm hearing, right? They have to have more than a.
They have to have the original
they have
wedding
to have the original note.
The one that you signed with
Take
the pen.
note of that.
Well, let's put this down too. I was sitting in a work session for LD 145 back on February 2nd this year, and I overheard a lawyer lobbyist tell the Judiciary Committee that they were against the bill to make them produce the originals because it would be too expensive for the banks. Because most of the original notes were held in a vault in New York. What does that tell you?
Right.
They belong to the Federal Reserve.
So it would be they would have to FedEx the note.
No.
It would be an expense.
No. Get this. The reason it's so expensive is because the bank no longer owns it or holds it, and the bank would have to buy the loan back in order to get possession of the original note. And because of fractionalization, they probably would have to pay 10 times for it, like they got 10 times for it when they cashed it in at the discount window of the Federal Reserve.
And they cannot buy the note back in order to foreclose. That's a fraud in itself.
Oh, right.
So even if they did get it back, they cannot use it to foreclose because they sold it.
This is quite a good little circle they've got going on here, right?
Oh yeah. You think they didn't plan this out?
You have no idea.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
Nice. All right, I do know. Thank you. Thank you so much.
People out there need to learn too.
Exactly. Don't give up your homes.
Do your research.
Well, I mean, they do. The sheriff's department hauled my wife and I off in handcuffs.
Right.
Well, that's interesting.
Spent 2 days in jail, so.
Acehole says Leon rocks, by the way.
You betcha.
There's been a lot of comments on here, people having some questions.
Oh, okay.
There's, Acehole says the bank never owned it, that's why they destroyed it. And Acehole's just confirming that he does rock. Leon does rock. And Don says thanks for sharing, Leon. People, Acehole's also talking about sheeple. And Trevor from Minnesota is saying sheriffs are working folks too, but they are working for the 1% and must be held accountable accordingly.
Right.
Let's see, where was there? And they're asking how do we do that legally. Acehole, I forget what you were asking. That was earlier on in the discussion. How do we do what legally? And then while you're thinking about that, there was something else that was good. It was brought up. Where is that? Some good question came up. Wait, what is this one? What would you like us to... Oops. Jumped. Yeah, this chat window should be a lot bigger.
You got a.
Can you stretch it?
Yeah, you might be able to stretch that.
Yeah, I haven't been able to figure it out if I can.
Not down there.
Window larger or something?
Oh, check this out.
Full screen?
I can do a full screen chat. Check that out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but now I can't see you. I don't know where to
Now
point.
you don't know what you're looking at. Alright, that's
It's all
true.
right. Oh, I could bring mine over and.
That's
and-
true.
and,
I was chatting on yours onto
All right.
this. So,
Oh, cool.
so answering people's questions for some of it.
Oh,
Okay.
that's awesome.
Are there any additional questions that people might want answered?
Yeah, please feel free to ask any other questions. Oh, look, now we can actually see who's here, so we can see all the names.
We're just pretending to be new at this.
Yeah. We
So-
actually know exactly what's
All right.
going on.
All right. We're pretending to do so that when you all get out there and do the same, become your own citizen journalists, you can, as your own citizen journalist, you can see that it takes some growing pains,
Every situation's different.
but you do it anyway. You do it because it's important.
So true. And Acehole wrote something that was censored again. Maybe another link. Yeah, see, I lost what was written above this.
I don't know.
Where is my mind? Is that a Pixies song? I think it is.
I know.
Sounds
Love
like
the Pixies.
Yeah, they're great. I agree. Oh, and on this one, oh yeah, Earthga couldn't get to the chat. Their checks and balance equal. I filed a criminal complaint, Ginger Girl said, with A.G. Snyder on the following. He won't do anything. Fraud. A scheme was devised by means of false and ... Not sure. Again, just to... Those of you that are posting on the social stream one, that takes like 2 minutes for it to show up for us. So just so you know, if you can figure out how to get to the chat tab, that would help a lot, because it's much easier for us. Oh, Tugboat went into AD mode and missed you for a moment. Gotta run, but I'm wondering what the homeowners would like us to demand from the banks and the sheriff's office. So as homeowners, what should we demand? That might be kind of what, depending on what stage you're in, partially.
Good question.
What should we demand?
Yeah, what should we demand from the bank and sheriff's office? Like if we're calling them, or what should we demand in general?
Concerning this situation right now.
Sure.
Yeah, this is the primary
Yeah,
situation.
the writ of eviction was obtained by fraudulent means, and the sheriff needs to investigate that. He's been notified of a fraud. He needs to investigate. Well, I've been demanding the note. Traffic. Been demanding the note from the bank for 2 years.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
And I know, because I have a securitization audit, that they sold it. I have the proof of that. So I know they don't have it.
Where did you get the proof of that?
The securitization audit, there are several outfits out there that just Google securitization audit, and you'll get several hits, and they go anywhere from $200 to $2,000. the slightly higher priced ones will give you more detail. But basically, all you truly need is the fact that it's been sold.
And how did you obtain yours again?
I paid someone who does this. I had to go on the lower end because I didn't have any money. But he showed the pool it was in and the pool that it was in since, and as of 2010 has made $78 million.
Wow.
And I don't remember how many notes were in that pool. Basically, what a securitization is that the banks pools 10 to 100 notes, puts them in a bag and sells them to investors. And so the bank has been paid by the investors. That's just one of the ways the bank gets paid.
So ASOL now says the proof of debt is key.
Yep.
What is that? I don't know. What is that referring to? The proof of debt.
That's the note, the old
that's-
original
that's what
note.
it's- Okay,
Yeah.
that's another way to say the
Yeah,
note.
an accounting of what you owe.
And if the bank's been compensated, then because again, when they securitize, they separate the note from the mortgage or deed of trust. And once they separate it, the note, the mortgage or the deed of trust becomes null and void. One John Stewart put it, an analogy is, the note is the dog and the mortgage is the tail. The note can live without, the dog can live without the tail, but the tail can't live without the dog. So if the note, being the dog, is separated from the mortgage, being the tail, then the tail dies.
That's pretty good. Except for they're wagging that tail around like nobody's business.
Yeah,
Trying to
the
make
tail's
stuff
dead.
happen. Yeah, the tail.
It's of no use, no value. That's somebody else. If you don't know of John Stewart out of Arizona, he's big on foreclosure fraud, and he's dug up a lot of information on it.
So you're not talking about the talk show host?
No, not the talk.
I thought he was talking about the talk show host.
So did I.
I think no, different John Stewart.
Right.
I think his website is johnstewart.com. Pretty easy.
Okay, let's see. No, your whole post did not go through, Ginger Girl. We were reading what you wrote. It got cut off at the end. So Earthica said, "Have you made the bank an offer, like produce note and I'll pay every dime? But if not, you close the account now." Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so we've made the demands on these banks, and they just laugh at you, and they continue and do what they do.
Occupied Davis is in the house. Separate of note and mort.
Yeah, you're right. There could be thousands of notes in the pool.
That's probably true.
Bifurcation, yeah, that's the separation.
So is there a way that we can have a fund to track down these things?
That's a great question.
Maybe a great thing to have for sure.
Like you needed to have $15,000, right? Or
Fif-
12.
1,500 for the. I had
Just
one.
to start time.
I had one day to do anything with the courts to stay this eviction, and the only attorney that I could get a hold of, and that was through another attorney. He wanted $1,500 up front before he would even blink an eye. I was like, dude, I'm in foreclosure. I want to file bankruptcy. I don't have any friggin' money.
Right.
You should get him a bunch of dog tails. See if he does it for that.
Yeah.
In his bed, right?
Yeah.
Pile of dog tails right next to him in his
Yeah.
bed.
Wake up next to that on the pillows.
Right.
Hey, Asol, did you do any? Did you search for that bank in the
Ryan?
SEC? Did you have any luck doing that for us?
What the hell I did with that?
I know you were working on that just a second ago. Oh, I gotta stop this. Indeed, he said.